You just know how to like get me all fucking hyped up and anxious.
I think we're good. I think we're good. I cannot see the stream though at all. I can see your video feed
What does that
of the
mean?
video. Like I can see the video you're trying to show with Fanny, but I can't see like the OBS or whatever. You have to share the display on.
So I have to go
I can't
back
remember which.
again?
Yeah, because you're only sharing the video of. So I can hear the video now, but you need to share the screen where you usually have two screens, right? Is that how you normally
Yeah,
operate?
but you can hear it though, right?
What was the
I
rough?
can.
You hear that.
Yeah, I hear it perfectly fine.
But
Yeah,
you said you can't see the video?
it's fine. I don't need to see it. I can just pull it up on YouTube. I can just watch it from there. I can see the stream and everything. Pull up YouTube.
All right, that'll be helpful.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm on it.
we're back. Hopefully fixed a little bit of technical difficulties. I'm in a hotel room, so this isn't
Yeah,
like our normal podcast setup that we typically do, but it'll have to do for now. So I'm gonna do
yeah.
the quick intro, and then hopefully Unrealness will be able to pull up his feed.
See everything recorded.
All right, guys, welcome to the Red Rover Republic podcast. My name is Millie, and this is my host, Unrealness.
We're gonna do it right this time. I promise, chat.
We're gonna
I promise.
get it right, get it tight. No, I'm just kidding. All right. First up on today's episode is obviously the Fani Willis crash out, and so I'm going to play that for you guys now.
What was the rough total operating budget of your office last year?
I don't know that. It's probably around $40 million. That's a speculation and a guess. That includes state money, grant money, and that's not an exact number.
What was the rough total operating budget of your office last year?
How could you
Bro,
not know your own budget?
she's either extremely uncomfortable or she has hemorrhoids. I don't know what's going on there. I've never seen a woman more uncomfortable and sitting in a chair in my life. There's something going on. She's having a panic attack. I would love to see. I would love to know what her heart rate is during this question. I would like to know what her her heart rate. Also, I bet you her mind is going 1,000 miles per hour. Just I'm fucked. That I've never seen a woman look so more guilty in my life. It's crazy.
But you would figure, like, your responsibility is to know your budget in your department. That would be something that, you would expect of anybody who was managing, even a department store, a restaurant. You would need to know at least some of those numbers. Hers is like, I don't know, like 40 million something, some state grants, Just what kind of answer is that? It's just
The people
not.
behind her too in this scene just are just this whole situation like it's like a secondary embarrassment basically. That's what I'm feeling watching that video.
But it's a full-on crash out. Just her being asked questions and this kind of response is honestly a bit of a red flag. Um, I wouldn't want to hear these types of responses from somebody running a department.
So
I don't review those documents, so you're.
Hang on, let me just turn that up a little bit.
I don't review those documents, so you're asking me to look at documents that I haven't for the first time. What I can tell you is that
I'll give you time.
Still seems a little low. Oh,
no,
that's
she's
because
just far away from the microphone.
she's
Yeah,
not
just far
she's
away,
not
yeah.
screaming yet. I'm sorry. Maybe I should prepare to turn it down.
allowed Mr. Wade to bill 160 hours a week, and then Mr. Wade would be the first one in the office making sure that my staff arrived. He corrected their behavior. They thought that 8:30 meant 8:30. He taught them that 8:30 means 7:45. He got there before them. He left after him. He taught them how to do this case, and he was a leader to that team and a public servant. And for that, him like me has been threatened. thousands of times. You want something to investigate as a legislature? Investigate how many times they've called me the N-word. Why don't you investigate that? Why don't you investigate them writing on my house? Why don't you investigate the fact that my house
I'll
has
take
been swatted?
deflecting
If
for
you want
500,
something to do with
Alex.
your time that makes sense. And you can use all this in your
I'll
campaign
take
ad.
things that didn't
You,
happen for
tax
500.
Fani Willis. What have you done, sir? Nothing.
So I'm going to refer you to the screen.
She really thinks she said something there.
I don't look at this.
Review
I've never.
these.
By the way, imagine this for just for a second. If I don't know, my day job, if I showed up 30 minutes early and clocked in against my time, against the, what I'm supposed to, and I did this every single day. So for every 2 days, that's an additional hour, right? If I did that, and let's say I left like a half an hour, so let's say every day that's at like another hour, an additional hour every single day. So from 40 hours a week turns to 50, and insert whatever, I would be fired. I would 100% be fired for clocking in and clocking out early and clocking out late. That's not how any business that I know operates. They schedule you for a time because they when they structure a budget, they base that off money allowance, and they understand like, okay, we need so many hours to go towards this department, and this is how many people we need to hire, and this is how many hours we need to give to each individual in order for this to actually fit into the budget. If people are showing up a half an hour early and leaving a half an hour late, and that's the entire department, that is fraud. That is insane. That is insane.
Well,
What company does that?
also take into consideration her boyfriend. Okay, the person she's referencing about staying there late and like training the staff, that's her lover that she's talking about. 160 hours billed. Okay, and just to put this in perspective for you, there's 168 hours in a week. Just to like put that in perspective for you. So this man was working day and night. So not only is he like banging down Fani Willis at night, but he's also like running the office 24/7 off of like 1 hour of sleep. I don't know. This man is obviously Superman. But I don't know. This woman is a district attorney. Okay, I just want to like zoom in on that for a second. A district attorney. And this is the type of performance that she's giving at a hearing. I mean, just this like attitude at the end.
And you can use all this in your campaign ad. You attacked Fani Willis. What have you done, sir? Nothing.
So I'm going to refer you.
Look at that
Blink.
face.
Hard blink several times and sit back like you said something. By the way, she makes claims of like being called the N-word and that there was writing in her house. I'm not aware of any of this. Is there any police reports that she has filed for hate crimes or anything? Has she put anything forward that I'm not aware of this? Have
I
you seen anything?
I haven't researched that enough or like dove deep into that, which I probably could. I would need to like put it on the list of things that I need to research over the week. One sec.
But also, I would expect her to bring photos of this supposed writing, and also bring the messages of people calling her the N-word just randomly. Again, things that didn't happen for 500, Alex.
Well, it's the deflection that she's upset that she's being investigated. So it's like, how do you think Donald Trump felt when you were pulling your shit with Donald Trump? You think that he enjoyed these types of questions from you and your team, and now what, we ask you basic questions and you throw a hissy fit in front of a committee? I mean, I can't believe that this woman was even in a position to be a DA.
Yeah, she could have answered this a lot more calm. Like, listen, yeah, people, they were on the payroll and they worked little additional hours here and there, and we justify that because they had a lot of hard work to do. Instead, she had a complete crash out, trying to say that these people, that this man was working 160 hours or whatever it was.
And he was working
and
hard, like really
yeah,
hard,
yeah,
you
he
know.
was bottoming her out, and I think he should be paid for that. I mean, I'd have more respect for her if she would just be honest about that. I mean, but I mean,
It's a
again,
major
like you said,
conflict of interest.
huge conflict of interest.
So, but
she's
hey,
she's she's boned. Let's be real, she's
you're
boned.
you're
She's
only getting the same treatment that you gave other people. So I don't know why you're all upsetty spaghetti. Um, I also would like to, in reference of speaking about Fani Willis's crash out here, is that there were some uncoverings in Fulton County So Fulton County Board of Elections attorney Ann Brumbaugh admits that 315,000 early votes were legally certified during the 2020 election. So let's take a look at that.
I've not seen the tapes myself, but we do not dispute that the tapes were not signed. It was a violation of the rule. Since 2020, again, we have new leadership and a new building and a new board and new standard operating procedures. And since then, the training has been enhanced. The poll watchers are trained specifically. They've got to sign the tapes in the morning, and they've got to sign the tapes when they're run at the end of the day. When the tapes come back to the hub for, with all the documentation, they are checked again. And if somebody forgot to sign a tape, then Fulton initiates an investigation. But we don't dispute the allegation. I've not.
I think there's a reason why, and I don't know if you've been following the court cases going on with this situation, but they've been blocking the review of these votes since 2020. Like, there's an activist judge that has been consistently trying to block the release of these ballots on purpose.
I
And
wasn't
we're
aware of
actually
that. That's
getting it.
that's actually insane. And again, like the difference. I mean, how many votes? I pulled this up just not too long ago. So in Fulton County, there was what 243. I'm sorry, 524,000 total votes. The difference between Trump and Biden was let's see, what was the spread? It was 242,965 votes. So if there was 300 and what was it? How many votes was
15.
it again, Billy?
315,000.
315,000 votes that were fraudulent. That more than makes up the difference between that gap. If there's a 137,240 vote gap, that absolutely makes up that difference and then some. Biden won that county apparently by 73% of the votes.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that judges have been blocking?
Yes, there has been multiple lawsuits in where the side that was petitioning to see the ballots had won, but continuously there's like a district judge that keeps jumping in to block the release of the ballots. So I don't know. They keep like trying to like appeal this and appeal this and appeal this, and it's been a consistent problem since 2020. So I'll have to bring that up maybe on like another podcast down the road and show you guys all of that evidence because I think it's extremely important.
I mean, the thing is, it should anger both sides, right? I mean, obviously, the Democrats can be like, "Well, this is good because it works for my." If you think that lack of transparency is a good thing, you are a problem. You are a problem. If we request the most simple things of like a simple investigation into votes, and you see a judge block a very simple thing, an investigation into votes, and you're okay with that, that's an issue. That's an issue that people have that mentality that just a simple investigation is being blocked and you're okay with it. That's I can't wrap my head around that. And that's where I completely separate myself from both sides is that if an issue were to come from the other side too, I'm like, yeah, let's see it. Let's see an investigation. Put it forward. If they want to challenge Trump's election in 2024 in any county or whatever, and they want to do a deep dive investigation, do it. Let's see it. Pull it out. I want to see. I want to make sure. I want to. The integrity of elections or the not the integrity, but the confidence of the elections right now are so low on both sides. Conspiracy theories have come out of after the Harris Trump thing. Obviously, we have what's happened in 2020. We need just full transparency. I can't believe we have to fight a court to be able to investigate votes. That's crazy to me.
Well, we've had to fight court to also get the release of what just dropped today, which would be the Epstein Files.
Oh
It took
boy.
it took Congress, it took the victim's attorney Bradley Edwards, the DOJ, where we were requesting the release of all of this information. And so now what can be made available is available somewhat. There's still a lot of redactions in these photos. But here's Bill Clinton in hot tub. I don't know why their faces are redacted. Like, I get it. It's like, we're protecting victims and stuff, but like, I need to know, is that a child? You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
and
I
and
can't
so you're
tell. Is
asking a
that an
fair question.
adult or is that a
No,
child?
you're
I
being too
can't
nice,
tell.
Millie. You're being too nice because when the Democrat committee was releasing photos of Trump just recently, surrounded by a bunch of women of age, they chose to. By the way, the photo was available from the Epstein estate for many years, but they chose to redact those women's faces in order to paint a narrative that there were, or at least give the insinuation that these women were actually underage.
Hmm.
It's really hard for me to show sympathy here because I get it. I'm with you. I want to know, is this person actually of age? Like, why are we blocking out this person's face? But because of what happened recently, I mean, we go back to the emails where they were blocking Dufresne's name in the emails, even though she herself was, is on record saying Trump never did anything incorrect. But yet the Democrats not only redacted, but they put the word victim on it. I actually, I actually wouldn't have been. I would actually be okay if they redacted that person's face on in that hot tub with Bill Clinton right there and put the word victim on top of that little black square. I would have been okay with it at this point. These people wouldn't act as if they ever take the high road. The Democrats are a bunch of slimy little slugs. Okay. So if they would have done that, I would have been like, good. Because that's exactly what they tried to do to Trump. They tried to paint narratives based off of just by putting a redaction, a big black box, and the word victim over an email from a woman who claimed that, or on numerous occasions under oath, that Donald Trump didn't victimize her. So I'm tired. I'm tired of trying to play soft or nice with the Democrats. I'm tired of playing with the soft. The kid gloves are off. I'm done with it. I'm sick of it.
Well, so this is Mick Jagger, isn't it?
That is Mick Jagger. That is absolutely Mick Jagger.
So it's hard to tell based on like the frame of this person whether or not this is an adult or not. It's hard to kind of determine that.
You
Um,
know what? The good person in me probably says that's probably an adult because I'm a decent moral human being. I would actually probably not probably actually probably look at the background. There's a lot of people back there. This looks like a very open thing. I mean, are all these people in on the secret? I don't know. I would probably say it's probably an adult, an adult, because I'm a good person and I'm not gonna plaster the word victim over that little black square. Same thing with this image here. That woman that's in the background that has her face blacked out, that shoulder frame, I can't see her breast, but it looks like she has augmentations. My guess is that's an adult woman as well. But that's because I'm a fair person.
I mean, this one I think is questionable, but I
That one
mean,
is questionable.
like,
That one is 100% questionable. Yes.
but like 18 and 17 look fairly close. You know what I mean? Like that's what's
Yeah.
difficult about these situations. It's like I would just like to know,
But I've
why
seen
don't
women's bodies
why
like
don't you
that
just
are in their 20s.
but why don't they just instead of the like do the redaction, right? But put the age.
Well, I mean,
Put this person's
this
age out there, like so that I know if this is a
yeah.
minor or not.
Again, I'm a decent person, so I'm gonna think that that person probably was of age, and I think that the redaction was unnecessary. I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna plaster the word victim over that little square that they put over her face.
Yeah.
And what does this image prove exactly?
Well, that's probably like what I'm about to say is that all of these are images, right? But with all of the redactions, I can't tell if this photo is incriminating or not because I can't tell if the face that you redacted is
There's two. Look at the two
a
squares beneath
minor.
that, Millie. Look at the two squares beneath it. Are those other faces? What are we redacting right there? Is those two other faces peeking out from underneath that blanket? Do you see that?
I don't know. You know what I mean?
Like what?
That's the
Yeah.
difficulty of like looking at these photos is that, you know what I mean? There's a lot of photos with a lot of different people that took pictures with Jeffrey Epstein. But does that mean
So.
that they were, oh my God, not the,
No, yeah, don't play.
stop it. As if it's
Don't
anybody,
post that one.
it's anybody but Hillary, okay? Let's just be honest.
Uh, Look at that
Yeah.
little leg over there off to the side.
This one's definitely gross.
Now we don't know that. Like we're because we know the situation being as gross as it is, we're assuming that obviously that's a child's leg off to the side there, right? But is there anything wrong happening in the situation itself? That's the thing. It's like we don't know the child. We don't know if the child is being like abused in that situation or if the child just in that photo. So it's
Well,
really hard for us to know.
I know this
Same
is
thing here.
well, these are Michael Jackson's children. I know that much. That's his daughter,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure that's his son. Um, what's her name again? I forget. It's
Oh,
Paris and I forget Prince. I can't remember his kids' names, but I'm pretty confident that those are his children.
Paris and Prince. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
and Biggie, Bigi. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that child, but yeah, there's a third apparently. But
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know whose baby this is, but you know what I mean. I don't want to like. I don't know.
now we're saying that like now we're
Here's the
now we're
painting.
thinking that's the real painting too. But
Yeah.
now we're thinking, and by the way, that dress look familiar? That have a little Lewinsky vibe. But here's the thing I have an issue with. Not an issue, but the question, right? What now obviously Michael Jackson has been, accused of I'm not going to get into the whole shebang. I know there are people who are ride or die Jackson fans who just completely discard everything that's been happening or that has happened or been claimed. But what people would be suggesting from that photo is that he's allowing people like Bill Clinton or whoever else to abuse his own children. Has Michael Jackson's kids come out and said anything about
I
anything that of their own abuse? I'm not aware of anything.
I have mixed feelings about like Michael Jackson. Like obviously,
I do too.
I think it's inappropriate to have other people's children spend the night at your house, right? Also, he has children. But
Yeah.
so it's like, all right, the stuff that he was doing, I would say would be inappropriate. I certainly wouldn't let my child go over to somebody's house, but the
I have an
loudest,
issue with sleepovers overall, man. I have an
yeah,
issue with sleepovers overall. I think most parents are probably good, but I'd be so cautious.
agreed.
I mean, the people that seem the least likely are, just because somebody doesn't act weird doesn't mean they aren't weird. And not to, even if you know somebody for 20, 30, 40 years doesn't mean they're not, people hide shit. People hide who they really are to some degree. I mean, even with your friends, you're not 100% exposing all your thoughts to your friends, whether they be good thoughts or bad thoughts. That's not really what I'm, getting at. But there are monsters who are just out there lurking who, portray themselves as good people on a regular basis. So my
Well,
paranoia, man. I'm like,
do you remember Corey Feldman? I don't
mhm.
I don't know if you remember, but like they were like the loudest people in Hollywood about
Yeah,
the sexual abuse that was going on uh in Hollywood. And I Corey's talked about this multiple times that when he went to the police to like report the abuse, that the police, I think it was in LA.
no. It sounds good to me now, but I'm looking at the stream. It's a little choppy right there, but I
Okay.
think we're okay.
I'm
I
doing
think
the
we're okay.
I'm doing the best I can for some
You're doing. Listen,
reason.
Millie. You're doing great. You're doing fantastic.
Okay, hopefully it gets fixed soon. It's still showing an error, but I don't really know how else to fix that. Is it still choppy?
It sounds good to me. The stream looks.
It's fine. It's back. You lagged a little bit. Okay. It's
I think we're good.
in and out. I hope it
Yeah.
I hope it returns.
I,
Don't worry. The next time we host this, it's going to be back at my
yeah.
place. So,
Very crazy circumstances.
but so what I wanted to say is that uh, Corey Feldman was the one who was ringing the alarm bells about what was going down in Hollywood. And I remember him saying that he went to the police department, and when he was reporting what happened to him and the other Corey, he said, they kept asking me about Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson. And he's like, Michael Jackson never touched me. I don't know anything about Michael Jackson. He's like, I do know that these are the guys that did shit to me. Um, but, that's not, who touched me. And I know
Right.
that Macaulay Culkin, I mean, the kid of the 80s and 90s, Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone, and he's gone through his own trauma, said, uh-oh, people say they can't
Yeah.
hear me.
Yeah. Dang.
I
No, I
don't
can hear you just fine through the stream. I think they can hear you. Yeah, guys. Yeah, I'm just checking really quick. I don't really address chat directly when we're doing this type of podcast, but your audio is coming through just fine, guys. If you guys can hear me, just make sure you just leave, close the app or whatever, come back. Yeah, but everything seems fine. So this just seems to be it's not a consistent issue. So just refresh the stream. Pull down on the top if you're using your phone. Just grab the top of your screen, slide it down, and it'll refresh. So whatever
This
you need
is
to do.
this is like the worst week for live streaming for me. I
Well,
just need this week to be over. It's like
yeah,
crazy.
for me too, but definitely your situation's a little bit different than mine, but we're
Um,
making it happen. We're making it happen. We do this live. I mean, there's going to obviously be some issues when you do things live, so that's just how it is. We're fine. We're good. All right, everything looks good. All right, Millie, go ahead.
so like I said, Macaulay Culkin also was one of the people that came out and said, I went over to Michael Jackson's house. I spent the night over Michael Jackson's house, and he never did anything inappropriate with me, but I think still goes to show that, like, I don't think Michael Jackson understood, like, appropriate parental boundaries, if that makes sense. I also think
Yeah, but
he's
I
a
mean,
victim of
we're
abuse as well.
it comes to a point though, because we know that a lot of abusers, they themselves have been abused as well. So it's like, I understand like showing sympathy towards these individuals, but the problem is that you're creating more and more victims over time. So I get it, I understand, but at the same time, it's like, where do we cut it off? Where do we cut off our empathy and start properly holding these people accountable? I don't think anyone who would commit this type of horrific crime towards a child, I don't think their initial intent. I think most people, initial intent isn't to cause harm. They just lack understanding, or they just have a real perverse thing going on prior to, because of past experiences. But like, does that excuse them? No, I don't think it excuses them, and we have to obviously cut it off at some point in time. So
Yeah. And I guess we're not really going to know, like, enough about the situation with Michael Jackson because he's deceased now. So, but, hopefully people who had experienced something got their sense of justice.
right.
So the Department of Justice, I know there was a little bit of controversy about the redactions, and the Department of Justice made a statement in regards to the redactions in the files. So this was their statement. The Justice Department is not redacting the names of any politicians, as District Assistant Attorney Todd Blanche made clear. The only redactions being applied to the documents are those required by law, full stop. Consistent with the statute and applicable laws, we are not redacting the names of individuals or politicians unless they are a victim. And so, of course, people ran to say that they're lying and all of this stuff. But I mean, I do remember that being inside the actual law itself. And the law is not really that long. Um, it's a very short read, but it does say that appropriate redactions for the victims can be made and that they're not releasing like images of these people being touched.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, nobody wants to see those images. Nobody wants to see kids being. At least I hope not. I don't think anybody is advocating for or calling for those images being released. But it doesn't matter. And I've said this 1,000 times with the Ghislaine Maxwell interview and everything else that's happened. In recent times. Guys, no, there's going to be a giant, and including me to some degree. There's going to be question marks Okay, a lot of the information, it's touched a lot of hands. There's been a lot of people who've been involved, and then just because there's redactions included, people are going to assume that that they're hiding something. So you're not ever going to satisfy everybody's curiosity, and we're just gonna the problem with with the file release and the way it's been done, and this is why I hate Pam Bondi, and she should have been fired fucking months ago. Is that even if Pam Bondi,
100%.
but actually, give some credit to even Pam Bondi. Even if she released it on day one or day two, whenever she got the job, they would still say they're hiding something. There's no satisfying certain things. So, I mean, I can't convince people. You can't convince people. They only have to, everyone lives in their own little conspiracy world, including myself. I'm not trying to act as if I'm special by any by any means, but um, these files have been under Democrat oversight, and then also by Republican oversight, and everyone has their own interests. There's going to be and the reality is there's going to be a bunch of sickos who are going to get away with some really disgusting shit. That's just the reality. We're going to formulate our own opinions. We're gonna come to our own conclusions. But I think we can all agree that there are going to be a lot of people who's going to get away with a lot of stuff. It's just a fact. And it's unfortunate. Uh, you know, this just spoils down to God's judgment at this point in time. And there's a lot of evil people in this world who have done a lot of evil things, and they won't see any sort of justice until they die. That's the way that's what helps me sleep at night personally. Because, yeah,
Well, I think one addressing what is being called the hoax. The hoax of this is like Donald Trump is involved in this full stop. This is the narrative that the Democratic Party has been pushing over and over and over and over again. I'm just going to remind you, like Donald Trump has been in the public light for a very long period of time. Okay? Jeffrey Epstein was originally found guilty back in 2008. He admitted guilt. He signed a non prosecution agreement in exchange for paying the victims out compensation for what happened to them. On top of he would have to do 18 months consecutively in prison. Um, so all of this stuff was out there already for a long period of time, and I remember Donald Trump getting roasted on Comedy Central, and everybody was laughing and giggling. Snoop Dogg was there. Multiple leftists were there back when he was supporting Barack Obama. Nobody brought this up. It wasn't until Donald Trump brought charges, his DOJ brought charges against Epstein. All of a sudden, it's Donald Trump's involved in this. Donald Trump is a pedophile. Donald Trump is involved with Epstein in these massages, which has never been proven, and there's no evidence to show of that. And so here it is, the files are now released, and Democrats are sitting there with their cock in their hand, and it's flaccid. So I don't know how else to help them, but
it's flaccid, and it's been under a hormonal treatment when they were children, and then now they have a micro penis on top of it all.
well,
Uh,
I wanted to show this video. I don't know if you saw it on my live today, but I had showed this basically Kamala Harris, deflecting about
yep.
why they chose not to release these files. So take a look.
Why didn't the Biden administration release those files? Was that something that they felt would look bad while they're running against this guy, or why didn't they come out during your administration?
To give you an answer that will not satisfy your curiosity, I will tell you, we, perhaps to our damage, but we strongly and rightly believed that there should be an absolute separation between what we wanted as an administration and what the Department of Justice did. We absolutely adhered to that, and it was right to do that. The Justice Department would make its decisions independent of any political or personal vendetta or concern that we may have. And that's the way it worked.
Why didn't the Biden administration?
Well, so
What?
I think she said the quiet part out loud. Okay, they didn't, while they were doing all of this political warfare against Donald Trump. They wanted to make sure that they could go back and be like, we weren't actually involved in this. The DOJ is just doing all of this stuff by themselves. We didn't instruct them to do any of these things. That's really what they wanted to use as an excuse down the road. And it's honestly just a bunch of bullshit. It's not just that the Biden administration didn't release these files. It's that the Democrats in Congress during 2021, when they had the House, the Senate, and the executive, did not make any motions to release these documents. They didn't even talk about it. You didn't hear about it.
Sorry, guys. We're dealing Wi-Fi at a hotel right now, so little patience, little patience.
Oh God, did it freeze again?
Yeah, I think you're good now, though.
Okay. What what did you not hear?
Um,
All of
Probably
it?
the last 10, maybe 15 seconds. No, not no. I got a lot of it, but the last 10 or 15 seconds before I cut you off right there.
Um,
It was kind of spotty. It was kind of in and out, robotic.
well, oh, it's happening again. I can see it. It's on the thing.
Uh,
I'm gonna steamroll through what I
can
can
we
get
give a
out.
review of the hotel room? Is this a Marriott? Where you at?
Listen, I paid the extra $4.99 a day to have good service. It's probably
What
like
what is good service?
it's probably like OBS. It's probably honestly OBS is the issue. It's probably just sucking up a lot more bandwidth than TikTok Studio, I would think. Um,
Maybe.
but is what it
I
is.
think we're good now. I think we're good now. It
Okay.
says, "Dang, now Unrealness is cutting out." That's not a me thing. I'm threaded into her. Okay.
Yeah, listen. We're just gonna have to
Blame Millie, Chet.
we're just gonna have to struggle through. Blame Xfinity. It's actually Xfinity's fault that all of this is
Ah,
happening because
there's your review.
they haven't fixed my Wi-Fi, so it's not really like the hotel to blame. It's really just
I got you.
Xfinity.
Yeah,
Um,
hotels were not designed to host live streams, to be fair.
that's true. I think that it's as good as it can possibly get, but is what it is. Um, so what I'm saying is that, they need an excuse as to why the Democratic House, the Democratic Senate, and the executive that is also being ran by Democrats in 2021 decided they weren't going to even talk about this issue, that they weren't going to put forth any of this legislation that they were demanding to be passed when they had all of the numbers to do so in the beginning. So I thought it was actually funny that now all of a sudden they're outraged and pretending that they care.
Well, yeah, it's just about political points. I think anybody with more than two brain cells can understand this is all about political points. Because if they actually gave a damn about the Epstein situation, they would have done something about it. They never cared, and they saw an opportunity, seen an opportunity, they hopped in, and they then started. I mean, if that's not apparent to people, including Democrats, if that's not apparent to you, again, I say this a lot. You're a lost cause. If you really think that, if you really think that the Democrats cared about this at all, and they didn't, and you know for a fact they didn't try to look into these files prior to Trump taking office again. And by the way, they did everything in their power to get Trump out or from receiving power again. So if you guys really truly believe Trump has any is indicative of any wrongdoing when they had this Trump card in their pocket. You're just a lost cause. You're just a cog in the machine. You don't think for yourself. You have no you have you have first off, I'm going to say a real bold statement. You have no right to fucking vote at this point in time. You should not have the right to vote. You have no critical thinking skills at all. You should have no right to vote. I don't even care. Fuck it. I'm just
So,
saying.
speaking of Kamala Harris, remember when during the debate, Donald Trump made the infamous quote, "They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats."
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So holy smokes, President Trump was right again. A migrant Amazon driver has been caught on camera stealing a woman's cat, grabbing it by the neck, and taking off.
I hope it was Persian.
Ring camera doorbell shows this Amazon Flex driver walking up to the porch, dropping off the package. And if we lose that bug in SuperVin, if you don't mind, thank you. Right underneath of that, that is where the cat is, right near the front porch. You see the Amazon driver trying to grab him. The owner says you can see the arm go back and forth. She believes that's because the cat was trying to bite the man as he was trying to pick her up. Eventually, he does grab her by the back of the neck, walks her back to his car, and takes off. Sheriff's Department says they have interviewed the man who said he was sorry, but won't tell them where the cat is. At this point, they are still looking for the cat, and as I mentioned, charges are being considered by the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. I want to show you a statement from Amazon trying to
He's
distance
currently
themselves from
digesting
the
it.
driver, making it very clear to us that he is a Flex driver, which is a third-party company, saying, quote, "This was a horrible act, and we've apologized to Ms. Huff Medina. The Amazon Flex delivery partner in question is no longer eligible to deliver to our customers. The Sheriff's Office to share relevant information with them and will continue to support their investigation." Now, the victim in this case says it took them a long time to be able to get a hold of Amazon. They finally have. Amazon now communicating with them as well in this situation. But again, tonight, Piper nowhere to be found.
What a strange case.
Ring camera.
Okay.
Remember them saying that he lied? That's not happening. No way.
Blame
That
the
we-
owls.
4K happening.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me. If you did this to my Timmy, so help me God, I will go John Wick on your ass, dude. Oh my God. That's
The John
crazy.
Wick, a cat edition.
Cat edition, yeah. I have a Terran tactical. I know what I'm doing. I'm going all out. You touch my Timmy, so help me God. So help me God.
Speaking of absolute justice, CENTCOM released a kind of like America fuck yeah video. CENTCOM forces launched fighter jets, attack helicopters and other assets to conduct large-scale strikes. Let's take a look at that. Remember, we just lost 2 National Guardsmen in Syria over last weekend, and so this was our response to that attack.
I love that they put eyes and teeth on those. I love that.
Mm-hmm. All I need is the bombs over Baghdad. Except for this time, it's not Baghdad. It's Syria.
You know, I don't know why people are so insistent. I get it because they're trying to paint narratives. We saw this come out of. I'm not going to bring up Israel or Gaza necessarily, but there's a lot of propaganda that's come out of Gaza, AI videos, fake images, staged nonsense. And not to say there haven't been innocent things or horrible things that haven't happened there, but it's almost like it's. I am concerned. I am concerned based off of current technology of them trying to make us look bad because people are uh so easily fooled into believing that certain images and certain things are real. Um, Again, I don't want to go down the whole Israel Gaza thing right now, but I've seen plenty of images and plenty of stories that have been proven false, time and time and time and time again. So, but I'm not going to go down that. So I am curious as to what was the motivation of taking out our American forces? Is this a bigger plot, a bigger scheme?
I think ISIS is just doing what ISIS has always done, hating America and anything to do with our military. So, I mean, they've always
Well, we have
attacked
ISIS,
us.
but we have Hamas that's convinced a bunch of Americans that they're the good guys. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my concern.
But
Is that that they're
it
going to push some sort of nonsense?
it's only because mainstream media like codifies these narratives, right? Like if we had
Right.
true journalism that told the truth about these people chant death to America. These people cheered on 9/11. These people constantly want the end of America's alliance with Israel. Clearly, that has been a complaint that they've had in the Middle East for a long period of time. But people
Yeah.
forget, like, Israel is our asset. Like, we basically use Israel, in my opinion, as like our extension. It's our proxy. Does that make sense? Kind of like in a way that I think
Yeah.
Ukraine is our proxy. Like we use Ukraine as a proxy against Russia. And I think in the same way we use Israel as a proxy against our enemies in the Middle East.
Just so much anti-American sentiment among even the U.S. citizens who really lack any sort of understanding of what's happening globally. I mean, you don't have to travel to a whole lot of places to understand your own privilege in this world. You were born, you were raised, you were taught in America, and you lack that understanding of how fortunate you are. And instead of showing appreciation for it, you look for any means. And I blame the education system mostly. And again, I'm going to try not to rabbit hole here, but we see more and more anti-American sentiment coming from Americans seemingly every single day. These people want to blame everyone but themselves for the situations they're in, and and they look towards a cause, and a cause calls to them, and usually it's the radical side of the left, blaming America for all their woes, all their problems, and that they'll never be successful because America is holding them back. And despite the fact after they look at that little post, they get in their hot showers and yeah, you know what I mean? Like I can go down this rabbit hole for a long period of time, but I think we see a huge lack of appreciation among in America from a lot of Americans. It actually makes me sad, truly.
100%. Just to follow up on kind of like the military subject is Donald Trump announced the day before yesterday. It was like that. I want to say Thursday
Dividend,
night. Yeah,
yeah,
the
Thursday
di-
night dividend, yeah.
the warrior dividend that went out to our military. And ironically, it's 1776, so $1,776. And our troops seem to respond pretty well to this, so take a look.
I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine. I just got three things to
W.
Uh,
I
the
love this.
the America fuck yeah on like people getting their warrior dividend was hilarious, and I was in group chats. Actually, I could probably pull up the group chat right now because it was actually hilarious of the people who were so butthurt. So you have like people in the military that like Trump, and then you have people in the military that don't like Trump. Oh my god, they were just so butthurt over this. It was hilarious.
Oh no, I'm able to buy more gifts for my wife and children. Oh, it doesn't mean we didn't have to print more money for it. Oh, that's crazy.
I I
I'm able
ha-
to
I
pay
have to
something
read
off.
these comments because like as soon as I can find the like post thread, if it didn't get deleted, which it may have gotten deleted because it was just fucking hilarious.
It just
Okay.
really highlights the truth. It really highlights the Trump derangement syndrome. It really does. It really puts it on full display. People are going to complain about this, and yet, what are they complaining about exactly? I don't understand. I the mental gymnastics that you have to go through in order to find a negative in this is crazy. Again, this isn't a stimulus check where new money is being printed, okay? But somehow some people are going to see this as a negative. That's insane to me. I can't wrap my head around that. You Meanwhile, that we have what $1.2 trillion in credit card debt in this country right now, and many other debts that are going on, and somehow you're going to think that money being distributed, that it's not new money, that's not new printed money, is a bad thing going out to our troops.
Oh, they
I
must have deleted the post.
Of course they
That
did.
sucks. It was
of course,
so funny.
of
Well,
course they did, because it just highlighted their derangement. That's all it did.
so it literally it says anyone that has any negative thing to say about active duty members getting 1700 right before Christmas is crazy. It doesn't matter where the money came from. It doesn't matter that the money was for BH. It doesn't matter if you like Trump. It doesn't matter if what his motives were. All that matters is that our service members got much needed relief right before the holidays. Nothing beyond that one point is relevant. Thank our soldiers for their service on one hand, and then on the other, be upset and ugly that they got a bonus simply because you hate Trump.
Yeah, That's the thing. It's like this is the best case scenario. Like I said, this isn't new money being printed. This isn't like a bribe, unlike Democrat ran cities where they're promising shit they cannot fulfill. This is money. This is money that's already existing that went to our troops that can use it for gifts for their kids, for their wives, for to pay off maybe a little bit of their debt. I mean, this is an absolute W. I mean, again, like they said, no matter where the money came from, and I don't necessarily agree with that, but that is kind of true. But we're talking about our troops, guys. These are the soldiers. These are our soldiers. These are the people that are sworn to protect this country from our domestic and foreign. These are our people, and you got to find some way to make this a negative. I mean, how do you sleep at night? How the hell do you sleep at night? I don't
So
I don't get it.
I saw last night multiple people saying, "Oh, well, actually it was Congress that passed that. It wasn't Donald Trump." And I'm like, "Do you guys not know basic civics? You have to have the president sign off on appropriation." So like Congress legislates, yes, but the president picks up the pen and
Right? Do you hear the
fucking
hypocrisy
signs
in
it
that
into
though?
law.
Do you hear the hypocrisy in that? Because we were talking about the initial, the COVID stimulus checks. Initially, they were celebrating them, and then they're like, "Well, the reason why the mental again, this is mental gymnastics. Who put that bill forward? It was Schumer. So they don't want to give Schumer any credit, or they don't want to blame Schumer. They want to blame Trump because he's the one who signed off on it. This is literally, this is what we fight every single day. Okay, this is this these
The propaganda.
low IQ, easily propagated to individuals or who we're combating every single day. These people who lack any sort of critical thinking skills. Okay, even if it's true, yes, Donald Trump had to sign off on it, right? You have to give credit to Congress during this situation, but you won't give credit to Trump in other situations because you're inconsistent. You okay.
There
I'm
were
just gonna
so
I'm just gonna
there was
pause. I'm gonna
there were
pause.
so many spouses last night that were like, "If you're bitching about this money, then I'll send you my Cash App right now and you can send me your check." They were just like popping off like, "If you're going to bitch about this, then I'll take your check and you can stop bitching." So just another quick video from this. Pete Hegseth says, "Better follow through." And so one of the soldiers said he was going to go get a tattoo with the money that he got. Take a look.
I'm pretty sure I owned
Hey,
that shit at
Webb.
one point in time.
Webb, if that 1776 check hits, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna get an American flag tattoo to be patriotic because that's American.
Hey, where at on your body though? Left cheek. Left cheek. Left cheek. All right.
Left cheek because it's
don't
not
forget
gay.
this. Hey, Webb.
Is that the same thing with the earring thing? Like you get the left cheek, it's not gay. Like if you
Maybe.
get your left ear pierced, it's not gay. Is that the idea there?
But Pete Hegseth, who is our Secretary of War, was like, "You better follow through though." With the
Yes, sir.
American flag.
I love that. He's obligated now. That I want to see a live stream of that dude getting his ass cheek tattoo with an American flag. I need to see a live stream of it. Do it on Twitch. No, you can't do it on. You can't do it on. You could probably do it on YouTube, but I don't think you can do that on TikTok because of the location. But yeah,
Imagine like the SecDef shows up at your work at the command that you work at just to check and make sure that you got the tattoo on your ass.
I
That'd be
I
funny.
want to see him show up to the parlor as it's getting done. I
Mhm.
want to see Pete like I want to hear the door, the little bell on the door ring into the tattoo shop. I want to hear, and then the camera cuts over to Pete Hegseth with his American flag handkerchief or his pocket square and in his jacket with a big smile on his face, watching this dude get an American flag tattooed on his ass. That's what I want to see.
Okay, I'm gonna shift a little bit into another one of our secretaries, but this one is our Treasury Secretary. So I don't know if you saw that he went out to dinner the other night
Yeah.
and got harassed by Code Pink, which I don't know if you were in my live stream like a week ago when I pointed out that Marjorie Taylor Greene was taking a
Yep.
picture with these people, and this is why I specifically pointed out that the actions that she was taking was very like, girl, you are kind of looking like a traitor right now when you're taking photos with these people because these people are quite literally like, I wouldn't say like the enemy, but you're schmoozing with the people that literally call us fascists every day. So take a look at this one.
sanctions, which are economic warfare.
Okay. Is that going to in any way intimidate you from living your life? Because this is the kind of stuff they pull. I think it's that Code Pink, one of those
Yeah, no,
groups.
well, first of all, I'm not going to be coward. And you heard the boos on there. They were booing that deranged woman who's clearly, her dad didn't pat her on the head enough when she was younger. So now the rest of us have to live with this. You know, she stood up, they interrupted everyone's dinner. I wasn't that sad to be interrupted because the food wasn't very good at the restaurant. And it was also clear that the restaurant owner was in on it with her, that it was a setup. So don't worry. Restaurant's called Revelers Hour, and we'll be having MAGA night there sometime in the next month. So I hope everybody will show up for that.
The food wasn't all that good. Was a jab, bro. That's crazy.
Um, well, so what I think is ridiculous, right, is like part of what she was saying is that economic sanctions were killing people. That was the claim that she made in this ridiculous video, which Obama has had sanctions on people, Bill Clinton had sanctions on people, Joe Biden had sanctions on countries and people. So when all of a sudden did Code Pink wake up and notice that economic sanctions are bad? So are we going to take sanctions off of Russia now? I'm just curious when we're going to do that.
It's just, again, this is just being politically advantageous rather, and just banking on the fact that most people are superficial and they just read a headline and they take that for the story. That's what they're hoping for. But I think that more and more people are saying, you know what, I'm tired of being lied to. I'm tired of being told what to think. I'm going to do a little research on my own. And more we're seeing this. I've seen it. You've seen it. I'm sure. I mean, we talked to a lot of people when we go live. I've seen people, start to realize that, the side that they're fighting for is, and both sides, I mean, suck at this. I mean, don't get me wrong. The GOP has been really frustrating to me lately, but you know, I'm gonna just to give Marjorie Taylor Greene some credit. We had that bill pass, the Protect Children. I can't remember the name of the bill exactly, and maybe
Yes,
you
I'll
remember.
pull that up actually. And I think that
Yeah.
was like, you know what, at least you ended on that because I'm still really aggravated with her that one the whole like rubbing elbows with the left and like being buddy buddy with them and then, turning around and getting absolutely dragged during that interview she did with that one guy who just kept pushing her and pushing her and pushing her on that interview that he did. You saw that one, right?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like, you kind of deserve that because you did play a role in the toxic politics. But also on the other side, I am happy that this bill got passed. This is what I've been saying needed to get passed is a full ban on
Well, what's going to
transgender.
happen though, Millie? What's going to happen though? The Democrats. If you look at the votes during the House portion, what are the Democrats going to do in the Senate? And is this going to be the bill that forces the GOP to destroy the filibuster?
I think that they should do it now. If you're gonna do it, you should do it now, not wait later. I mean, that's kind of like my premise on that. That if you don't do it, the Democrats, if they gain enough seats in the next election, they will 100% do this. Like no question, they will do this.
I
They
mean, even
will blow
Schumer
the
himself.
filibuster.
Even Schumer himself during the last whole shutdown, when he was like, "Did you?" They were asking, CNN was asking, "Didn't you want the thing to be shut down?" He goes, "Yes, but not over like a topic like this." Okay, so that should be a complete obvious thing to all the people, all the Republicans, that these people, as soon as they get the chance to destroy the filibuster, they're going to do it. They're going to stack the Supreme Court. They're going to do everything and anything. They've already tried. They failed miserably in the past. You have to beat them. You got to stop pretending as if you're you're the moral authorities here. Okay, these people don't give a shit. They pretend as if they take the high ground. And at no point of time have I seen the Democrats take the high ground. The GOP needs to destroy the filibuster, and we need to push these bills through ASAP. We need to do this quick. We're running out of time. The midterms is a real coin toss. Obviously, historically, there was a precedent that the opposition party usually asserts power or takes over one chamber of the House. But this is our moment here. This is our time. And if you're going to use the filibuster for anything, this or the not the filibuster, but the destruction of anything, we need to destroy the silent filibuster. The silent filibuster was a gigantic mistake. I don't know why that ever became a thing where you can filibuster and not even show up to work. It
Yeah,
makes no sense.
because that means that they don't actually have to stand there like Robert Byrd for 15 hours straight trying to stop the Civil Rights Act from passing. But I
Yeah.
don't know if you follow this organization, Gays Against Groomers. They're pretty prevalent. But they said and announced that the House had passed the Protect Children's Innocence Act. This bill creates new federal crimes that carry up to 10 years in prison for doctors performing transgender surgeries on minors, while also making it a crime to prescribe chemical castration drugs, aka puberty blockers. Parents or guardians of children under 18 could also be held criminally liable if they consent to or otherwise facilitate transgender treatment for them. This is a massive win in the fight to end the war on children and brings us one step closer to making this the law on the land. The bill
Yeah.
is now heading to the Senate. So, and
I
this
think
is
it's
a
important that
detransitioner, by the way,
yeah.
on the screen.
Yeah,
So.
I've seen her story. I want to make this a good highlight as well that this does not exclude people who are like using hormones to suppress puberty. If like a girl's going into puberty early, there's exclusions in the bill that actually go over this. That there are hormone uses that are completely still going to be viable. There are exclusions in this. It's the use of gender affirming care is what we're talking about here. Again, if you guys haven't read the bill, it's a very simple bill. I say no pork. I don't know if you read it. I went over it yesterday. I read it yesterday, and I was like, I'm not seeing anything in here that makes that's lacking or that's trying to push any sort of weird thing like, oh, we're gonna get rid of pushing hormones to kids. Also, we're gonna take away all the money to this organization. I don't see this is not a pork filled bill. It's pretty straight. It's pretty straightforward. If you guys actually read it, it does include again. I want to make this a huge highlight because the way people like Anthony Weiner and all these people are trying to make it or portray it is that people who are trying to or not people are trying, but these kids who are entering into puberty early or super late, like you have young boys who are not entering into puberty, and they need to receive, let's say, like testosterone in order to force them into puberty, so they avoid things like having a micro penis. Just as an example, definitely a medical thing. Obviously, something you don't want your child to have to suffer through. Those things are still those are included in this bill. So if you guys are curious if we're using hormones to help children or help children go into a normal correct path, that's included in the bill. Girls entering into puberty early and boys not entering into puberty early enough. Those things are included. So that again, this bill, Margie Taylor Greene. As much as I've hated her recently, I will say this bill is a solid W. And if the Senate if we see the Democrats go against this, as we've seen in the House, that they do the same thing in the Senate. I'm sorry,
I
it's
concur.
hyperbolic, but we're talking about fucking predators at this point.
I concur. I think that unfortunately our generation is probably going to look back on this and go, yeah, I think we fucked up. Kind of like in the same way that they used to think like lobotomies was the way to treat certain mental illnesses. I think that they're going to look back on this and be like, yeah, we made a mistake. Because I
Yep.
think there's going to be a lot of people who end up detransitioning and then go back and be like, who am I holding responsible for this? Because I was a child. So but HHS also kicked off a conference this week. I don't know if you saw this, that they literally started off just being like, men are men and
I
women
love
are
this.
women.
This is so awkward.
Men are men. Men can never become women. Women are women. Women can never become men.
Do you
First off,
think
somebody run up and give that dude a fucking high five, a smack in the ass, and a shot of Jaeger. I mean, you have to understand what making that statement would have meant like 5, 6 years ago.
I was literally
I
about to
mean,
bring that up.
yeah, they would have burned his house down, threatened his family, did everything else in between. But the world is waking up to this propaganda, to this nonsense. Get this guy a medal, give him a big old check with Trump's face on the side of it, because that would just piss the Democrats off even further. Get, like, the gold cards, the new gold cards. You know how they have Donald Trump's face directly on it. Do
Ugh.
that. Bring him out a check, like the Publishers Clearinghouse. Give him a nice firm handshake, and yeah, bold W. This guy's Thank you for this. I appreciate that.
So, like, and you took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, I just imagine if I were to take this clip and go back to the year 2000 and play this for people on a big screen and tell them 20 years from now, 25 years from now, this is going to be a very controversial statement. Imagine, like, the response, like, what do you mean this is controversial? Nope, it's going to be very controversial.
Well, think about history classes in the future. I mean, honestly, like, they're going to be like, just like we talk about lobotomies. You think about history class in the future. This guy, we don't know. This guy might actually be a threat just for coming up here, right? He might, we might actually see like something horrific happen, and because that's how the left operates. They're creating martyrs left, right, and center. So I pray for his safety. I pray for the well being for him and his family, because we know how the left has been extremely violent, disgustingly violent. And it's not that I hope for, but I wouldn't be surprised if at the very least threats come his way just for that statement.
Well,
That
interesting enough, the first transgender skater from Finland performed an opening ceremony for their, you know, uh, competition that they were doing, and it went almost just as you would expect it to. I'm telling you, I laughed my fucking ass off at this.
What? You need to straighten out that leg, dog. Okay. This reminds me of
This
walking
is
through the bar
toxic,
when I was
progressive.
Oh my god, yeah, this is me walking through the bar when I'm 21. I discovered new drinks. I tried a Moscow Mule for the first time. I had me a White Russian. I didn't know these things existed because prior to I was drinking Mad Dog 2020s and Old E40s. I'm finally at the bar. This is me walking through the bar. I've just had a few drinks that are just been introduced. This is me. This is me walking through. I can't. I'm trying to find my balance, trying to find my grip. Oh, there it is. Oh, there's a door there. Oh, watch the door. Oh, okay. And there's a person. Oh, get around. Don't want to. And okay, I think I'm okay. I'm okay.
Oh.
Nope, there's the Moscow Mule right there.
This, I honestly,
Oh
I
god.
think this is worse than like some children I've seen ice skating for the first time at like JP Igloo. Like this is way worse than
That's
like,
great. This is crazy. This is crazy. I love this, but yeah, that I just had a flashback. That was I remember this. I remember this. I'm glad I have a. It's like how they do a Disney on Ice version of something like I know Snoopy on not Snoopy but like Snow White on ice. They do like a whole ice on ice version. That was me, 22 years old, discovering new drinks for the first time on ice. That's what that was.
well,
It's crazy.
it gets even better because if you thought that was funny, wait till you see this. They're advertising now why you should date trans women.
Oh god.
Here are some reasons why you should be dating trans women. We don't have any periods, which means no hormonal moments when we're super moody, and no
But you have
need
balls.
to have gaps in the month.
Well, okay, so just quick correction. You're literally on hormones. Like
Literally on hormones.
gender affirming care is literally hormones. Like you are taking cross sex hormones literally right now. So cap, okay. There is a such thing as hormonal mood swings, and especially if a man is taking a lot more estrogen.
When we don't get naughty. Also, that means no pregnancy scares, which is great, which also means no need to use protection, if you know what I mean. We more than likely have a few similar interests, as we are still in touch with our masculine side, which will never go away. For example, I love video games, and I love sports. I love playing basketball. I love watching
So we're going into
football,
sexism.
and that will never ever leave me. So if you want a sporty girl who's into the same things as you, who you can play video games with, look no further. This one's quite controversial.
But you're literally like trying to convince people
Did you
the opposite,
did
right? Like you're like, "Oh, well, these stereotypical women who don't like gaming. By the way,
s-
I love gaming, so I don't know
yeah, I
what
was gonna
people are
say
talking about. Like
I was gonna say
I'm a
the argument was
gamer."
pure the argument was pure sexism.
Like
That's what the argument is.
like this
Your
is
argument is sexism. That's crazy. I know plenty of women who love gaming, but you're trying to and sports as well, but you're trying to say that's a man's thing, and this is a masculine trait to like these things. You're a sexist. That's all. You're a fucking sexist.
this is
That's
like
crazy.
liberal male misogyny at its finest. Like I've seen like people always trying to say like conservative men are misogynistic. Okay, sure. I think there's probably a portion of like hardcore red pill podcasters that are like that, but this whole thing is like completely sexist, misogynistic because they keep fucking like trying to squeeze women into this like stereotype that it's like
Yeah.
I like gaming, I like sports, I like martial arts, I like MMA. I like all of those things. So to say like you're never going to find a girl that likes these things, that's not true.
Controversial,
Yeah.
but we are great drivers. We know how to drive a car. You know what they say? Women drivers.
What? That's more sexist. Are
And
you
we
trying to
must
say women can't? Are you saying females can't drive cars?
Like, bro, at this point just advertise you're a man because that's what you're saying. Like,
Man,
because
I
women are
would.
bad at driving, but you said you're a woman. So are you not a woman? Because you're
I
saying that only women do these things. I thought you were a woman. I'm confused.
I'm sorry, man. I'm waiting for. I'm not. Wouldn't be surprised if you brought up Asians next. Go ahead, play it.
Last but not least, we will never ever be close minded because we've been through such a lot ourselves that being close minded is not an option. So most trans women are open minded, kind queens who you can tell just about anything to and it won't faze them. Mwah.
Let's just skip over the fact you have a dick, balls. Um,
Like,
it's just, the mental gymnastics and the sexism is unbelievable. I just can't. I can't.
the
And I
best.
just try to think about these men's minds who are trying to justify this to themselves while they have somebody's member in their mouth is like, I know I'm a straight man.
Stop.
Now this woman likes video games and they can drive. I
Okay.
just can't.
I'm not gonna lie. My husband has had way more car accidents. I've only the last time I was in a car accident, I was like a teenager. I've not had an accident since. My husband has totaled 2 fucking cars. He took out the side of our truck once upon a time because he took a turn too closely in our F-150, and then his Scion he totaled because he pulled out in front of somebody because somebody waved him on, and so he went in and then got T-boned. And
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, you know what? Listen, the insurance companies know who's bad, okay? Like there's a reason why the men have higher insurance than women. Like not saying that women can be
That's
bad at
bullshit.
driving. Women can be bad at driving.
That's an offline conversation between you and I. I've dated plenty of psycho. My first real girlfriend in high school drove a Pepto Bismol pink Honda Civic, and she was a deranged psychopath on the road. Okay,
I didn't
that.
say they didn't exist. I didn't say they didn't exist. But
Okay.
statistically speaking, the reason why men's insurance is a little bit more expensive is because you guys like doing shit like donuts in the
Yeah,
parking lot and
yeah.
Tokyo Drift and all kinds of
It's yeah. It's a flex. I lack confidence in my penis, especially in the early 20s or something. All right, but the real fucking funny
whatever
thing
you
is
say,
though,
Vin Diesel.
I've I've never been in a car accident where I was the driver. I've been in car accidents, but I was not the driver. Outside of my motorcycle accident, but I was forced off the road. So it was like an indirect accident, but that's not important. But yeah, I've never been a cause of an accident, I guess is the best way I could put that.
That's a good thing though. Brava.
Yeah, I do my best.
So just my last like transgender clip of the week was this one.
Is that a segment we do? Transgender clip of the week?
It's just kind of like the unhinged like tranny movement from time to time. This one, honestly, I want to find out who the woman who's debating is because she was pretty calm, cool, and collected. But obviously, like the crash out continued. But girl, why do you have like 2 drinks in your elbow here? Like, what's going on? How many drinks do you need?
You agree with me that men can't get pregnant?
Cisgendered white men cannot get pregnant.
Okay, so I'm really glad
Right.
that we agree that men cannot get pregnant.
Cisgendered men, you dumb bitch.
Men
said
cannot
white.
get pregnant. I'm glad you agree with me. But here's the deal. When you're talking about a moral argument, your gender does not change the validity of your argument. I can speak up against a moral wrong. And that's what abortion is. It doesn't matter your gender. Even if you're a woman who can't get pregnant, who maybe you biologically can't get pregnant. If I'm a woman who's infertile, that doesn't mean I can't speak out against abortion. Because abortion is a moral wrong, and every human is called to speak out against human rights wrongs. And abortion is a wrong because it takes the right to life away from the weakest and smallest member of our species.
Based.
First off, if the first argument did you not first off, there's a hella white hate, like self-hatred there. She said
White men.
white cis. Yeah, so and then after being or when they repeated themselves, she whatever the fuck I'm talking about, excluded the white portion. That is just pure self-hatred. This needs to stop, man. That wasn't an accident that they mentioned white. Okay, that was not an accident at all.
White.
Also, that first drink, the one with
You
the
agree with me
plastic
that
one you
men
were
can't
referring
get
to,
pregnant?
that one on the right there, or I guess it would be her left. That one's full of alcohol. No, sorry, no, the tumbler. The tumbler is full of alcohol. That's vodka cranberry right there, 100%.
I got 30 different flavors in one hand. Let's go. I'm just kidding. Okay, so now into one more clip for the
Is it
gender ideology.
Is it about the trans?
No, it's like it's a parent at a school board meeting that was bringing up chest binders and why like their tax dollars shouldn't be going towards this. And then I'll move into like a more serious segment because there was some crimes that were committed that I want to touch base on.
Why are we using taxpayer funds to purchase these breast binders? And I'm just going to put one on in case people in the audience are not familiar with what children are receiving in this county. If you're over 12 years old, you can have a free breast binder. And just to give you an idea what this looks like when you put it on a child, a 12-year-old girl can get a free breast binder through Communicare, through this board, to flatten her breasts so she can pretend to be a trans boy. These are given out free by this county. The penis tucking kits are available to boys 12 and over so they can take their penis and tuck it into their groin to give the appearance of being something other than a male. Why would you want to lie to children? Why would you want taxpayer funds going to these kinds of garments for our children? It's time for you to have some courage, to be brave and speak out. We have an unfolding medical scandal, and you five are the ones supporting it.
Okay. I actually want to make a good point on this. We hear a lot of these arguments coming from the T community talking about genitals and why you being weird about genitals. In the meantime, they're making garments like she was stating, whether it be smushing up your penis to your asshole or wearing these chest binders. If genitals was not such an important topic when we talk about this, why are you developing clothing or whatever we want to call this, spandex or whatever? Why are we developing these products to hide one's physical features if genitals was never an issue to begin with? We're dealing with pure projection all the time, and this is a really good highlight. I'm really glad this video that you played this video, because when we talk to these individuals and we talk about genitalia and we talk about phenotypes, and they like to be dismissive on this topic, but at the same time, we have, biological women getting their breasts removed to appear to be more women. We have biological men getting breast augmentations to appear more feminine and wearing certain types of garments to smush down their junk in order to appear more feminine and what have you. So the whole argument saying like, genitalia is you're making it weird because you're talking about genitalia. No, you're making it weird because you're advocating for garments and surgeries to highlight or to obfuscate biological presentations, phenotypes of individuals. So we didn't make this argument. You made this argument, and now that you're being called out on it, you have no leg to stand on at all.
Well, I mean, having two sons myself, if I found out that the school district were to give my child a kit in which instructed them on how to tuck their genitals, I would be fucking livid. Like, I'm surprised not enough of these parents have not gone in there and just, like, gone postal. Because I would lose it. I know my husband would lose it if anyone were to. I mean, this is child abuse. Like, why are you talking to my children about doing stuff with their genitals? Like, this is predator behavior. This
But it
is
has nothing to do with the
grooming
genitals. Why?
behavior.
No, Millie, you're missing the point though. Why would you? Why are you bringing up genitals? Why are you making it about the genitals? Again, that's my point. My point being is that when we talk to these people, they go, "Why you bring up genitals? Why are you making it weird? Why are you making it about the?" No, you're making it about it. You're developing garments. You're advocating for surgeries. You're advocating for certain types of hormones being used because you care about the genitals. Because you made this a topic, which by the way wasn't an issue 10, 15 years ago. The thing, and now that we're
Uh-oh.
that's what it boils down to.
Yeah. I just one I you would have to have a discussion with them on what this kit is used for, which means that you are talking to my children about their genitals. That would be like the fucking I'm sorry, I would fight somebody. I'd be in jail that day if I found
Oh,
that
I
out.
saw this video about 15 minutes. I read this story about 15 minutes before we went live. So I'm really glad you're bringing this up because this is an act of God. I'm sorry. The likelihood of this happening and in this firearm not going off, I my heart when I was watching this initially, I thought for sure I was about to see three men lose their lives, and by some act of God, save these individuals. Let's just run through. Let's run through this video. This is crazy.
You're talking about this one?
Yes, the one you have up right now. Yeah.
Yes.
5550.
The cops restrained, not shooting him right there. He pulled the trigger, I believe, 3 times and had a malfunction. The gentleman with the white here who was
Well,
helping right there, jumping all over this and pushing the gun down because it was a misfire, not allowing him to clear the chamber. If you go back to when he
well,
initially pulled it.
he pulled it, but he didn't he didn't load it. He
No,
didn't
no,
have
no,
it cocked.
no. It was. You can hear the strikers. You can hear the striker hitting. The striker smacking. Listen, click, click. That click sound does not make. I wish I could show you right now, with my firearm I'm sitting in front of me. Those click sounds do not happen without the striker being engaged. So that slide was pulled back. There was a malfunction in whether the bullet's primer was damaged in some way or was it inserted into the. No, that thing clicked. That was 100% a misfire. That gun was loaded. That slide was racked back. Pull back again. Listen to it. Pull it back again. You can listen. You can hear the strikers hitting the primer. You can hear it.
5550.
I count 3 clicks. That striker hit the primer. The primer was a dud. That's
I
about as
think
lucky as you can possibly get.
I think these cops are extremely lucky that they went home alive and
Yes.
not in the hospital. Like, it's insane. Like, I don't know what's going on with our culture where this has become like the norm. I hate to say it, but I really do think it started with like video games like Grand Theft Auto. Like, you might disagree with me on this, but like
I will definitely disagree with you on that.
honestly, though, I feel like that's kind of where this started. Like, I'm gonna get away from the cops, and I'm gonna
Well,
fucking do whatever.
I think a lot of it started. I wouldn't be surprised if you pull up this person's medical history and found that they're on SSRI, probably Prozac or Zoloft,
I also agree with
sertraline or
that.
fluoxetine. I think when you saw the increase of violence, in the if you, and I'm not saying like I can't prove any sort of correlation, but I will say that if you look at the introduction of SSRIs in 1988 with Prozac and the increase of shootings just in general. Um, it's really hard to ignore the fact that the increase of prescribing and the increase of these incidences going up at the same time. It's really hard to ignore that statistic. You can pull it up. Everyone can pull it up. There is a direct, not direct link, but there's a direct charts that you can put up side by side, and you can see when Prozac was introduced, Zoloft was introduced, duloxetine or Cymbalta, all these SSRIs were introduced. We saw a gigantic spike in these situations. So I
I agree
understand what
with
you're
that
saying.
too. I just think
Yeah,
I just want to explain like my portion of it. I think that
sure,
there was probably some level of like being desensitized to stuff like this. Not saying that it's a main factor. I think it just could be a little bit of a contributor to stuff like that. Is the desensitized to like actively pew-pewing people in video games. I don't know.
sure.
Maybe there's
I
correlation,
grew up.
maybe not, but
I grew up playing Grand Theft Auto 2 Tokyo. Yeah, we're both in this mode right now. Let's give it a second, let it clear out.
got you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yep,
me?
yep.
Yeah, I was just saying that, when I was a kid, I played all these games. Grand Theft Auto, Tokyo, London, 3, Vice City, San Andreas, 4. I played all these games. I played Call of Duties since I was a child, and I was able to discern the difference between reality and virtual reality, and the implications of me actually pulling a trigger on a real person versus a video game. But that's why I attribute a lot of this to being more medical intervention, medical issues than it is the video game itself. I'm not saying that the video games are completely innocent in these situations. I think that if given a certain type of mind on a certain type of medications, obviously it can make things a little more worse in how they think of the world. But I think that I don't. I think that you're talking about a symptom less and not so much the actual issue itself. I think the issue itself is the proliferation or the increased use of these psychoactive medications. I think it's way bigger of a topic than the video games. I think the video
I
games are
agree.
just maybe pushing them a little further. I'm not being dismissive on what you're saying, but I'm saying
No,
that
I think
I
that's
don't think it's
fine.
the underlying cause.
No, I think that's
Okay,
fine, and like I said, everybody's welcome to disagree with me, right? It's just my personal take that I think that some desensitized to
sure,
stuff like that, but at the same coin, there are also people that take antidepressants that don't end up doing these incidents too. So it's kind
absolutely.
of like it depends on the person, but I think we need to make
Well,
asylums great
we
again,
but we
to
have to
be
be. I
honest.
understand the broad stroke of generalization because yeah, you're correct. There are people who are on these medications and have played video games and they're totally fine. They're functioning properly in the world. But we also have to look at these individuals as being perhaps the exceptions to the rule, and the way we operate in the world is not by we don't create laws because of the exceptions. We don't create policies because of the exceptions. We create policies because we have to generalize, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, that excludes certain individuals, or fortunately, in some cases. Uh, but that being said, because we were talking about the gender stuff before, we have generalizations, and we have the exclusions. We have women who love video games. Do most women love video games? If you look at the stats, no, most women are not video game enjoyers. That's just a fact. But again, we apply the generalizations because it's a little bit more honest to the overall topic. But that doesn't mean we should exclude we should completely dismiss the nuances of the topic. I just think that if you want to have the best corrective action, you have to generalize in some situations. And
I
I think
agree.
that the underlying issue would be the SSRIs and other psychoactive medications like SNRIs as well.
Just to answer a question from the chat, somebody asked if I played Rainbow Six Siege. I have played Rainbow Six. I'm not as much of a fan of Rainbow Six as I am Counter Strike. I like Counter Strike. COD I like as well.
I'm an Apex Legends player myself, and I played the last game I played was Apex Legends.
Apex is
I'm a Pathy main.
Apex is cool. But I mean, those are the games that I I choose to play. I'm actually much of a WoW player, World of Warcraft. I kind of dab into that a little bit,
Yeah.
being a
Yeah,
little bit of a
you nerded out like
dork.
a couple months ago for like a solid 45 minutes. You're talking about a World of Warcraft for a hot minute. I'm like, oh, this girl's real. This girl's a gamer. Damn, she's she's talking some shit. This is crazy.
Yeah, Borderlands 2, I like Borderlands. However, I think Borderlands 3 was garbage, just gonna be
Horrible.
honest. I
1
like
and 2 are the best.
I like Borderlands 2, but I also like the prequel. So,
Oh, the prequel.
have
Okay,
you
yeah,
played the
prequel.
prequel? It's pretty
I
cool.
did play the prequel. Yeah, yeah. The first one though, I destroyed so many hours of my life playing the first game. It was just so revolutionary. The looter shooter genre was just like the way they did it. It wasn't perfect, but like, and I know it's nostalgia, and nostalgia is always a lie. You go back and play Ocarina of Time, you'll find out it's just a game of waiting. There was no real difficulty to that game. It's just hold forward, hold forward. I know people are
We're
gonna roast me
nerding
on
out
this, but
right now.
Ocarina of Time was not that good of a game. Majora's Mask was a far superior product. That being said, I'm sure I pissed off at least half of the chat. It was fine. It was fine for what it was, but you know, nothing's gonna beat Link to the Past or a Link Between Two Worlds. It's just not. Those are the best. Those are the best Zelda games made.
Let's go. All right, I'm gonna play the rest of this, and then I gotta touch base on the couple of other incidents that happened. That guy got a swift knee and an uppercut to the fucking stomach.
Give us your hands, now! Don't touch him! Do not touch anything.
Yeah, good doing they do with the shirt, the white button up, and the
Caught
tie.
it quickly.
Grabbing that arm, forcing it down. Wrist control is everything. Wrist control. He's probably a wrestler, or maybe he does jujitsu in his free time. Wrist control is fucking everything, especially when somebody's carrying a firearm. You grab that wrist and you just manipulate and you control it. You grab that wrist, you can control the entirety of the arm. So good on him, an absolute giga chad for how fast he responded. But you know, and luckily again, the firearm did not go off. But the speed and the intuitiveness of him going after the wrist was god tier. I think people are overlooking those details. That detail, the wrist control, was the biggest determining factor there.
Well, also in some sad news, there was also a high schooler that was stabbed by a pair of scissors in the classroom. That also happened. I believe it was yesterday. But it's kind of like a reoccurring theme. People sound the alarm about red flags that they're seeing. These people are dangerous. These people are violent. And then it just goes completely ignored until somebody dies. Why is it always that like somebody has to die? And then all of a sudden we start taking action. It's like, can't we just notice that there are problems going on with certain people that maybe we should actually look into? Instead of just
Yeah.
waiting for someone to die and be like, oh, oops, we should have known, but you did know. Well, we didn't know if you would do it or not, but you were warned many times. So.
It's been a heartbreaking day watching students from Sterling High School stand out here for hours protesting against their school district and the school district leaders. They say in their minds Andrew Meismer did not have to die, but now that he is dead, he deserves justice.
Justice for Andrew! Justice for Andrew!
A constant stream of students stood in front of Sterling High School all day, demanding justice for their friend and classmate, Andrew Meismer.
He was a great guy. He didn't deserve this. And the school district is out here. They're not separating these kids that clearly aren't fit to be in a normal classroom environment and are a danger to other students.
Multiple students say Meismer was stabbed on Wednesday in science class after he got in a fight with the other student. But they also say the stabbing suspect has a long disciplinary history at school.
A few teachers were complaining about the student beforehand about all the assault charges and knives that he brought on campus. but nothing was ever done about it.
The students told us that despite repeated offenses, the 18-year-old suspected of stabbing Meismer was always allowed to return to school.
My main problem with them is that, it's just business as usual. Even though a child is dead, somebody's child died on their property, and it's like, come take your finals and go to school.
Justice for Andrew!
Students say Andrew Meismer and his family deserve so much more transparency.
I think that it was crazy. I don't think that should ever happen to anybody, no matter what they have done.
The students say they will be back here tomorrow morning once again to protest until their voices are heard. We should note we have repeatedly.
Why don't we start charging some of these school board members when they refuse to take action on stuff like this? And I'm not going to lie, there are some students that are just not cut out for public school, right? If you've been shown that you showed up at school with a knife multiple times, why is it that you were ever allowed to return back to the premises? That should be instant expulsion.
Expulsion. Yeah, and like not expulsion in the sense of they're not allowed to receive an education, but like, they obviously need some psych evals, they need some intervention of some sort, maybe put into some type of alternative schools. But for allow them to enter into a place where they initially did such an action, I think is ridiculous. I think you're putting a bunch of other people's kids and the kids themselves in danger because of
And
empathy.
teachers.
In teachers, this is another definition of toxic empathy, or another example rather. It doesn't, it pertains to a lot of things around us. It's not necessarily like, oh, we want to bring in criminal legal aliens because we feel bad and then they end up killing somebody. No, this happens in all types, in different levels all over the place, whether it be in schools, immigration, what have you. There's so many different examples we can give. But guys, when you see a pattern, when you see, especially in this situation here, when you've seen a pattern and you've seen somebody doing horrible shit, why are we allowing them to re-enter into normal society? I mean, we have to acknowledge that that some people just cannot be fixed, and that there is such a thing as a lost cause. And I'm not saying we need to necessarily get rid of these people out of society entirely. Well, maybe we do to some degree, but I'm not saying we have to execute these people. But we do need to remove these people from everyday society. We have to. Otherwise, you're risking other people because of your own toxic empathy. Your own empathy is what led to more and more people being harmed and or killed.
Yeah, I think there's a such thing as like toxic progressivism, in my opinion, where it's just like you want to be progressive, but you do so in such a toxic way that it's going to literally, you extend your hand and your hand gets cut off because you extended your hand. I'm kind of like, I'm getting over this era of so many chances. Everybody gets 100 chances to be a better person. And guess what? Sometimes people just aren't better.
Some people just horrible by default. I mean, there's no fixing some people. You can't fix everything. And the fact you think you can, you're putting other people's lives at risk because you think you can fix everything. And that's just not the case.
Yep. Here's a example, another situation where we have SNAP fraud. So here we go again, more SNAP benefits getting stolen.
Bonner and Saul Elisme for large-scale SNAP benefit trafficking, a scheme that turned a program designed to feed families into a multi-million-dollar criminal enterprise. SNAP benefits are also known as food stamps. The defendants are charged with one count of food stamp fraud. As alleged in the charging documents, these men abused one of the government's most critical safety net programs for their own financial gain. This is taxpayer money meant to keep people from going hungry. These defendants decided to take it for themselves. These defendants exchanged SNAP benefits for cash, which they pocketed. Bonner, a naturalized U.S. citizen from Haiti, owned the Jesuela Variety Store. Elisme, a lawful permanent resident also from Haiti, owned the Saul Mache Mixe store. These two businesses were co-located within a single storefront in Boston. To be certain, these were not supermarkets. They were not full-service groceries. It would be a huge stretch to even call them convenience stores. In fact, the only thing convenient about these stores was how easy it was to commit SNAP benefit fraud. To put this in perspective, the Jesuela Variety Store is less than 150 square feet in size. smaller than some bathrooms. The Saul Mache Mixe store was approximately 500 square feet in space. By contrast, a supermarket can be 20,000 to 60,000 square feet in size, have a dozen or more registers.
I don't need to hear about the dimensions of the building, but what
While
I
you go over this, I'm gonna go pee because I'm struggling here. But I actually have a few takes I want to take on this. But go ahead. Uh,
absolutely, absolutely. So, one, I think my biggest belief is that if you want to come here and you want to come here legally, you should be financially prepared to take care of yourself. That's what I truly believe in. I truly believe that if you come to another country, like I would never dream of like traveling to, Japan or to, South Korea or Sweden or Germany and just not come financially prepared for that move. I would make sure that I had enough money so that I wouldn't have to get on their government benefits in any way, shape, or form. I just think that's common sense. I don't understand why we keep doing this vicious cycle. Also, weren't they saying that these people weren't getting benefits? And I'm glad that we kind of like cut benefits off so we can get a gauge of like the amount of fraud that's going on. Um, the whole purpose behind Doge was to catch stuff that was going on that wasn't supposed to be happening. So, in another case earlier this week, Minnesota's like did a council meeting where they were questioning Tim Walz's administration about the Medicaid fraud that was going on. And the response is like, okay, so what are your safety protocols to make sure that fraud doesn't occur within the system? And the response was, oh, it's a trust based system. What? So, no checks and balances, no checking the system to make sure that there's no fraud occurring. It's just, yeah, well, people will do the right thing. No. I don't think so. I think when it comes to federal funds, when we're $38 trillion in debt, there should 100% be checks and balances to these systems. And I don't ever want to hear the Democratic Party complain about us putting forth technology like AI, which is what Doge was doing, to make sure that the transactions that are going through were going through in a way that we could detect problems like this happening in the future. Um, so, and I think I would guess that they probably did come in on the CHMV program. I don't know how long they've been in the country for, but I would assume that they probably came on CHMV, which applies to Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. Oh, Unrealness is getting a solid drink. Can't wait for his hot take on this. I gave my take. Now it's your turn.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, and I'm sure you highlighted this, is that we look at the fraud that was happening in Minnesota, and that was just like, I believe this was Boston, if I'm not mistaken. How far spread do you think this goes? I mean, you look at places like Los Angeles. You look at places like even Oklahoma, because I want to dog on some red states here for just a moment. Look at every one of these states. I think that we need to do a complete clean sweep. We need to force, particularly when we talk about Medicaid, or not Medicaid, but food stamps. Medicaid is another thing too. Is that people should have to reapply. I think everyone's and obviously people who are disabled and what have you. You guys are going to You guys are going to fast track through it. But I think that we have to go through a process of forcing people to reapply. We need to look at every single state. We need to conduct some sort of audit everywhere. From fucking Oklahoma to Idaho to New York to California to Minnesota. Minnesota's obviously undergoing their own thing. But I think what people are really missing here when we're talking about this is that we're looking at Minnesota in only Minnesota, but there are a lot of Haitians in certain places in the Midwest. We have a lot of certain types of immigrants who are obviously receiving more benefits than the people who are just here, American citizens. New York is a good example when the Joe Biden administration was flying in a bunch of Venezuelans. Guys, I think it's a time that we do a complete audit on every single state and every single government funded program. We're not talking necessarily just state dollars, guys. We're talking about your dollars. Your hard-earned money is being abused left, right, and center. And we talk about foreign actor or foreign nations we've been sending our money to. How about the money that's being stolen here right underneath our noses here in the United States? Where I think I think that the whole exposure of what happened in Minnesota and then this story in Boston, it should really just make you question: Are is the same thing or something similar happening near me in the state that I live in? Or maybe at least in a state, especially a Democrat state, just in general, that's nearby. If you're in a Democrat state and you're not asking these questions, that's crazy, man. So let's see some more audits. Let's see some more let's see some more exposure. I think what we're gonna find is billions, billions. What are they saying? 18 billion,
Uh,
around 18 billion. At least half of
yes.
that is definitely fraud.
Yes,
At least half
in just Minnesota alone.
in just
So,
Minnesota.
yep.
Yep.
But I also wanted to touch base on the Brown University because it's not just immigrants that are doing this. I think that there's also universities that are taking advantage of federal grants that they're being given. And I think that this one student is actually starting to blow the lid off of Brown University, and especially in reference after the pew pewing had occurred. So I just wanted to play a little bit of his clip, and then he followed up on another interview on a major news station tonight. So I wanted to play that as well. So I'm going to play the first portion of his interview. It's roughly a little long, so thank you for staying a little longer than we usually go for, but I think this was important to point out.
My name's Alex Shea, and I'm a rising junior at Brown University, one of the most exclusive institutions in the world. But I'm not here to glorify the Ivy League. I'm here to warn you that the promise of American higher education, of opportunity through meritocracy, is under attack. I'm a legacy student at Brown. I went to a prep school that feeds to the Ivy League, and my parents are doctors who can afford the $93,000 a year sticker price. In other words, I'm exactly who the Ivy League was built for. But what about the kids who weren't born on third base? Statistically speaking, for a smart kid from a poor family, an Ivy League degree can power their ascent to the upper income brackets better than anything else. That's the American dream. But today, that dream is now a luxury good. According to the New York Times, at Brown, the median student's family makes over $200,000 a year. Half the student body comes from the top 5% of earners. And research by Brown's own professor, John Friedman, shows that even equally qualified low-income students are vastly underrepresented. At this very moment, the American people are tightening their belts, and Brown is raising tuition to beyond $90,000 a year. And even while charging students the price of a
$90,000 a
luxury
year,
car,
bro.
Brown is on track to run a $46 million deficit.
Like
Thanks, government subsidies.
90,000 a year, bro. Like
That's crazy.
can you imagine that kind of price tag?
Well, it just goes to show you that allowing the government to the government or to insert themselves into our college systems was a gigantic mistake because they'll pay it. If people are just paying tuition, they'll pay it. It's not necessarily about acceptance just in general. Which, by the way, also had a gap between the low income to high income people getting into these institutions. Now you made it even worse by allowing the federal government to get involved in the student loans, where these colleges have been just I wouldn't even say incrementally, dramatically year over year increasing their tuitions. And where's a lot of this money going? It's not to the teachers. It's not even necessarily to the infrastructure of the school. It's going towards administrative costs. It's going to the administrative portion of the schools. Sound familiar? Well, let me introduce you guys to healthcare. The same thing is happening there. Thank God. I mean, I don't know if you want to go over the Donald Trump and the healthcare thing today. Maybe we have to highlight that on a different time.
We'll
But
have to do it on
it's
another because I think we are roughly running a little
yeah,
later than
we are.
typical.
But yeah, the administrative costs and the administrative portion of the colleges and in the healthcare system has overwhelmingly been strangling the American taxpayer, because not only are you subsidizing these colleges, these kids still have to pay an insane tuition to even get into these colleges. Okay, so and a lot of the money we talk about foreign money too. I understand there's a lot of nuance here, but the fact of the matter is, there no college degree. Which, by the way, I looked into this in Brown University. They use fucking Blackboard. The College
That's
of Western
crazy.
Idaho uses Blackboard. Okay, the College of Western Idaho uses Blackboard to educate their kids, and the way the professors use the curriculum is that it's a copy and paste system. Okay, so the education system isn't getting better. The education isn't getting better, but the cost of the education is getting insanely higher. Based off of what? What exactly is the education getting better? I mean, are the teachers getting smarter? Are they disseminating better information? No, absolutely not. But yet you're being asked year over year to pay more and more money because of administrative costs.
Well, I just wanted to highlight really quick that Brown University received about $184 million in federal grants and contracts in 2024. And Donald Trump's administration froze about 510 million in funding that was going to Brown University. So please, somebody tell me why a university that is receiving $90,000 a head uh, for 1 year needs that kind of money from the federal government. It seems like you guys are making bank. I don't know why you need more money from the Fed. Don't understand. But I'm gonna finish up the video here and
Where's all the money
call it
going?
a
Money,
night.
please.
I'll tell you where it's going. It's going into an empire of administrative bloat and bureaucracy.
Thank you.
Brown employs 3,805 full-time non-instructional staff for just 7,229 undergrads. That's
I
one
didn't even watch this
administrator
video.
for every 2 students. This isn't education. This is bloat, paid for on the backs of students and families who are mortgaging their futures for a shot at a better life. Meanwhile, Grace Calhoun, Brown's athletic director, earns over $1 million. A household assistant on payroll tends to University President Christina Paxson. And when budget cuts are made, these expenses stay while the student experience deteriorates. My dorm floods when it rains, and the burger patties in our dining hall have been replaced by an unappetizing beef mushroom blend. The idea that Brown's administration can be streamlined isn't conjecture. We didn't used to have these many administrators. Across the nation, the number of university administrators has risen by 162% in recent decades. And it's no coincidence that correspondingly, the cost of education has risen 181% in inflation-adjusted dollars since the 90s.
Uh-oh.
Across the pond, a world-class education at Oxford or Cambridge can cost about half as much as an Ivy League degree, in part due to a much lower administrative burden. The status quo has a real human cost. I recently learned of a brilliant young man from Pensacola, Florida, who got into Brown but was forced to walk away because the financial aid wasn't enough. Brown says it meets 100% of demonstrated need, but Brown gets to decide what that need is. Middle-class students in particular suffer from these policies, earning too much to qualify for generous scholarships, but not enough to go to Brown without straddling themselves with significant amounts of debt. And let's not forget that Brown is one of several Ivy League schools that settled a federal antitrust lawsuit last year for allegedly colluding to suppress financial aid offers. I'm a reporter for the Brown Spectator, and to document this problem, I created a website called Bloat at Brown that used AI to assess whether each administrative role was actually necessary. I sent each administrative employee a Doge-style email to ask them, what do you do all day? Instead of answering, Brown's response was retaliation. My social security number was leaked. Our website was hacked. And Associate Dean Kirsten Wolf launched a disciplinary investigation into a litany of baseless charges, such as emotional harm. When they couldn't get me, they charged every single board member of the Brown Spectator, an unprecedented attack on student journalism. But we refused to back down, and we won our hearings. There was no misconduct, only exposure, and that's what Brown feared the most. This committee has a responsibility, not just to investigate Ivy League antitrust violations, but to reclaim the American dream from those who have twisted it into a racket. I call on you today to subpoena Brown's president, Christina Paxson, and ask her why Brown costs $93,000 a year. The American dream isn't just for the legacies, the coastal elites, or the children of privilege. It belongs to the kid in rural Kansas with a 4.0 GPA, the first-gen student working a night shift, and the families who did everything right and still got priced out. They deserve a seat at the table. They deserve a shot at making it big. Their American dreams matter too. I thank you for the opportunity to testify, and I welcome your questions.
Amazing.
What a Chad. What a Chad. What the way the elegance, the way the writing skills and the points that he hit without eating up a bunch of time. Holy hell, man! This guy's sharp as hell, and he's absolutely correct. And I'm so glad that I brought up administrative costs.
My name's
I
Alex
didn't
Shen.
watch this video. I didn't watch this video prior to us going live. I've talked about this ad nauseum when it pertained to healthcare, and this makes all the sense when we talk about education. This guy hit the nail right on the head. Single strike, went all the way down, all the way through the board. He's absolutely correct. There's not a single word that he spoke that was incorrect.
100%. I would just want to follow up what he said about the university, and notice that he said he was being attacked. That
Mm-hmm.
he was attacked for pointing out the administrative costs that were costing so much money for people to attend, and that he was doxxed. His social security number got leaked. The website got hacked. Like, that's crazy work. So here is the last video of the night that I was going to play, which is a follow-up
I love that he's
of
wearing
this
that
student.
brown sweater too, and it's the brown color.
Gross.
Good for
He
him.
just
Good for him.
he just needs like the shit emoji to top it all off.
I think what President Paxson has been saying in some of the press conferences has been a little bit misleading. There's this line that I always keep on hearing, is that the building was unlocked because it was during finals. And that's not true. That building is always unlocked. I've been in that building many times for meetings with the Brown Republicans, and the door is always unlocked. And so I think that's a bit of a red herring there to address the issue, is that they don't lock the buildings. And I think that's an easy fix that hopefully they'll be making soon. I think what President Paxson...
I just want to say that president of Brown is the most incompetent DEI hire I've ever seen fucking ever. Like, she
Yeah.
didn't know nothing. It's 6 hours later and you didn't know any of the details about who was in the room, what went down,
Not knowing that the police,
what was
not
the
knowing that the
protocol.
police had, yeah, not knowing that the police had cameras in their vehicles or not that are on campus, where the cameras were that were on campus. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely correct. This
She ain't
the
no
lack
dick.
of, she was just showing up and collecting a paycheck. What you should have sent an email out to her. He said he sent out emails asking these administrative people what they did all day. He should have sent an email out to her. What do you do all day? The fuck you doing? Are you just showing up, eating lunch, and just smelling your own farts all day? What are we doing? What are these heads, these deans doing all day? Other than showing up, if they show up, and collecting a paycheck. They have no idea what's happening in their own institution, in their own on their own campuses. They have no clue. I know they have no clue. I think this has been more clear than ever. This incident has really shined a gigantic light that the administrative, including the deans of these campuses and these institutions, have no idea what's actually happening. If they do, that maybe they do, perhaps they do, but they're complacent in basically. In my argument, I'll stand on this. This is fraud. I mean, we're seeing a bunch of people again showing up, collecting paychecks off of taxpayer dollars and student tuitions for nothing. They're not doing anything. They're not
Well,
doing jack diddly shit.
before I go over this website, which I was like curious the second he said that he had the website. I'm like, I gotta go
Yeah.
check out this website. But the fact that a fucking homeless man broke the case. Like, these fucking detectives over there in Providence, Rhode Island. I don't know what's going on. This fucking homeless man that followed this guy is the one who cracked the case. They didn't give him barely any credit at all, like, during that entire press conference, about the amount of which his tip cracked that case. Like, him reporting what happened is what cracked the case. They would still be looking for this guy. This guy would be probably rotting in that storage unit for like another 2 weeks until like somebody reported the stench.
Right.
That's probably when they would have discovered the body. Oh, this is interesting. But anyways,
500 million.
Yep.
$510 million. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Oh,
digital marketing.
so this must be the people that
These are the
he's going after.
administrators. These are the administrators. Financial market or manager. Associate. Look at these sexy names though. Look at these names. Grants and financial manager. Look at these sexy names. Look at these titles they give people. I mean, is there somebody who's labeled as like the big dick connoisseur? Like, what are we doing here? Can I get a concierge service into any of this? Assistant director camp, event planner specialist. What is that? How much is Aaron being paid to be the event planner specialist? And they put specialist in there to make it seem a little more sexier, but removes. They're just an event planner, and they're probably making at least $100,000 a year just being a quote unquote event planner, if not more than 100 grand a year.
I
My
emailed
God.
3,805 administrators to find out why a year at Brown costs $93,000. Oh, this
This
is
guy's doing
long.
God's work.
This is long.
It is very long.
I'm not gonna be able to read that tonight. I'm too tired, but at some
Yeah,
point
I
I'm gonna read this and give a brief.
this man is an absolute legend. This level of intrigue and desire to get down to the bottom of get to the brass tacks of what's actually happening in an institution that obviously he respects. I mean, he was on what's his name, Waters. He was on with Waters, and going over this while wearing a brown sweater. He obviously respects the institution of the educational institution in itself as as an idea, in its purest form. But he's seeing the abuse, the corruption that is happening in these Ivy League schools, particularly, and he's calling it out. So this guy, again, I've said it 1,000 times. What an absolute giga chad. Again, who he himself admitted that he comes from an affluent family, a very rich and very privileged family, and he's calling it out. This isn't somebody who's at the bottom doing who's really smart calling it. This is somebody who's at the top looking at what's happening and looking at the people who are being overlooked from Kansas. I believe he said Kansas. People where they don't have a big enough bank account. And I'm in the meantime, I'm being told that Americans aren't smart enough to do these jobs. No, Americans are being overlooked because foreign actors have more money and are able to buy themselves into positions. Again, this is a domino. This is a domino effect, and I think people are looking at maybe be looking at this situation as like something that's isolated. No, this trickles down into many other industries. This trickles down into engineering, into sciences, into everything. And again, these institutions, these colleges who are supposed to be producing the most brightest minds in the world, are only all they give a shit about is money. That's it. It's just purely money. And I'm not saying they shouldn't make money. Obviously, they should make money, but we shouldn't be prioritizing giant profits over the progression and the well-being of our country, because we want to bring in foreign actors to completely shit on the American people who are, we've been told time and time again, are incapable of being smart, incapable of doing jobs, incapable of running irrigation lines, and incapable of developing some of the most incredible scientific innovations or inventions in the world. I mean, all this shit happens in America for a reason.
Yeah, and I hope that they continue to do this with all of the universities, because this isn't the only Ivy League university that needs to explain why their tuition costs so much, and why students and American youth has to go thousands of dollars into debt to receive an education. That's the explanation that these people owe the American youth as to why it costs so much. So I hope that other people take note and continue to do this in the future. But I think that concludes the end of the show. I'm relatively starting to crash, but I hopefully next time we will be in a regular studio with regular Wi-Fi, and I won't have to broadcast this from a hotel room. Thank you for being patient with all of the data
I'm so glad.
disruptions.
Did you set up that backlight? Did you set that backlight up
I
like that?
did.
Because that
I did, because
beautiful separation,
you told me
beautiful
to do that.
separation. It works. Listen, I'm not saying I'm a genius. I'm
Uh,
just saying whoever told you how to do that and to separate and to separate your head from the background is going to be very dimensional. It makes you pop. It makes you stand out as much as I think you should. You
oh God.
okay? I remember you getting up and walking away, and then your background turned into a giant fuzzy mess. Okay, so I'm just saying, whoever gave you the instruction on how to correct your ISO, I want to give him a gold star at the very least, maybe an
Gold
oatmeal
star.
oatmeal cookie.
Gold star to One Realness for helping me out with my lighting and my camera, because I know nothing about that sheet. But guys, thank you so much for another lovely week on the Red Rover Republic podcast. Look forward to watching us in January we're going to be extending the conservative circle much bigger and having a lot more voice and input into the podcast. So we're looking forward to that. Love you all, and we will catch up with you soon. Make sure you follow Unrealness on TikTok. His name is Unrealness, double E. And you can follow me as well, Millie X Shushies or Millie Shushies. That is my TikTok account. I go live every day, Monday through Friday, starting at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Unrealness
Also,
goes
follow
live
this
when he
podcast.
wants to. Yes, follow
I
this
do. Well,
podcast.
shush. No. You're right. You're right. I am fashionably late most days, but I realize that I've been sucking these last. I'm not gonna do that. But yes, follow this podcast, like, subscribe, share it to your friends, share it to your uncle. Go to your best friend, grab their phone, go to their YouTube app, and subscribe for them. You can do that as well. I'm not saying I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying it's a good idea. Okay. Just subscribe to the podcast. This is going to get a lot more interesting. Like she said, we're going to bring in more voices. The podcast is only going to get more interesting. It's going to grow. It's going to blow up. And yeah.
100%. Oh, no, it's lagging again.
I know. And
We're
then I'll
gonna,
cut out. I know.
we're
I
gonna
know. It's
forget this episode happened because of the amount of lagging and disruptions. But love you all, and we will catch you next week. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
care.